in my opinion, this feels like make the divorce settlement good, or I'm going to come out with a really juicy book. It
Yeah.
seems like it's a leverage strategy, in my opinion, and Harry might be shaking in his boots. I don't know, but um, how low can you go?
Well, exactly.
I think it's awful, and especially since she's been predicating herself on wanting privacy, but again, it's a bullying tactic, in my opinion. It's a threat. Do things my way, make the divorce settlement really good, in my opinion, or I'm gonna I'm gonna let loose a book the likes of which the world has not seen about you.
Breaking right now, Meghan Markle facing more accusations of bullying behavior and more to come after her feature, the hit piece, as some people called it, I would say very accurate reporting from Vanity Fair, sparked lots of Meghan's previous critics to speak out. First, Daily Telegraph Associate Editor Camilla Tominey.
In reality, what happened was that people started speaking to the media, counteracting their narrative of being these wonderful people that were always great and always had the best of intentions. So if you look back to the reporting of the time, we start saying after the wedding, and the reason I think that these stories came out is that they could keep a lid on everything before the wedding because they really only interacted with palace people, and it's quite a tight shop. Once you start planning a wedding and you're getting dress designers involved and florists and celebrants and choirs, if your behaviour seems to be erratic, lots of other people start talking about it. And the more that people talk about it, the more that journalists like me find out.
And Victoria Arbiter, who is the well-regarded royal commentator, posted Harry and Meghan have made online hate speech one of their key causes. Meanwhile, their fans have posted mine and others' home addresses on social media, along with sending threats and endangering people's safety. They've launched targeted smear campaigns, coordinated attacks, bullied employers, and promoted blatant lies and disinformation. They've been assisted by media-related friends of the Sussexes who have revelled in the subsequent glory, opportunity, and associated financial gain. Harry and Meghan have publicly thanked the followers posting in their name, and they're rewarding their clout-chasing cohorts. Why? Because in the wake of the Vanity Fair article, which was only a matter of time, they needed people who believed in the fantasy to defend them. As more information comes to light, I hope those who have aided and abetted their quest for fame and fortune are outed for the role they've played. Online safety is critical, as is a secure working environment. Given the latest allegations, the Sussexes don't have a leg to stand on.
Exactly.
And of course, the Daily Mirror now saying that Netflix might even drop the Harry and Meghan news series, Meghan with Love, as a result of the allegations, and their former friends at Newsweek say that the Meghan Markle bullying allegations are a major crisis, while the Daily Beast, that used to support Harry and Meghan too, say that their survivors have been vindicated by the reports of her demon ways. So let me bring in Meghan Markle's sister, Samantha Markle. Samantha and I, you probably know, are good friends. We've known each other for a number of years, and Samantha was the one who first blew the whistle on her sister's behavior, who first described her as a mean girl who could bully people. So, Sam, I just wanted to talk to you about the Vanity Fair article and all of the fallout from it specifically, because, of course, this is information that you've known for a long time. You did warn the world. But do you feel sad for the people who have had to go through the treatment that your sister is putting them through? I mean, the fact that there are some staff members who've ended up in long-term therapy, for example.
Right. Well, I'll just make this as brief as I can. You
No,
know,
go ahead, Sam. I want to.
the
I've been desperate to
the
hear from you on this. Take as long as you need.
let me let me add it. The PR smear campaigns against me that I had to find out because there was, according to an attorney in London, an entrenched media agenda against me. All the crap in the PR, even my Wikipedia descriptions, all edited by trolls, by paid PR, to smear me, to defame me, to disparage me. The smear campaigns against you. And, it's not like we're just talking about someone who gets out there and says something nasty about other people. We're talking about people who, using royal titles, giving the false sense of elevation, and the public relied on this because of who it's coming from. It's really dangerous. And the public didn't know that this was all going on behind closed doors, that Sussex squad, that media trolls were being paid, that PR were being paid to damage, to defame, to disparage, to attack people, to dox them, give out their addresses. And that has a whole cascade of really dangerous effects and triggers other psychopaths in public. And it's like a groupthink swell. It incites violence. That kind of targeted harassment is really dangerous. And they were not innocent, as is evidenced by Harry's letter to Jason Knopf that said, this was about finding freedom, the lies and finding freedom. Yes, but something to the effect of, I don't know if it's verbatim, yes, but we want to make it look like we were not involved. In my opinion, that shows his motive. So you talk about accountability, you talk about playing a victim. What about your accountability? What about your pulling the strings behind closed doors, paying a lot of money to damage people? Cut the malarkey. Enough is enough, and game over.
Look, I totally agree, and I know what you've gone through, Sam, but for people who don't, can I just be really clear about what you're saying? Your sister and her team and her Sussex squad
Right.
effectively led a smear campaign against you. So Meghan Markle effectively bullied her own sister.
Yes.
Wow.
To egregious extremes. And it took me a long time to find out that it was happening. And see, when you've got thousands of publications around the world regurgitating this nasty paid PR, people living their daily lives don't know that it was paid for, that it's a hit job. And that happens, between in political campaigns. It happens. Celebrities do it. But let me just, to be brief, PR, someone can have have PR staff, and those companies are the umbrella for a lot of television shows, a lot of magazines. So when I saw television shows out there saying, oh, there's Meghan Markle's crazy sister, I'm thinking, wow, do you know me? Do you know I have 2 master's degrees? Do you know that there's nothing crazy about me? And this is a smear campaign. I don't abuse children or cats or dogs. And I was seeing this crazy stuff out there, and then trolls would take little, paragraphs of things, circle it, explode it, and make it look legitimate and real when none of it had any merit. I mean, this is the nasty extent that PR and trolls who were paid, Sussex Squad, would go to smear me, to smear you, to smear Princess Catherine, to smear the children. And we were all getting, death threats because of people responding who were triggered by this crazy nonsense that was paid for.
Yes,
to print.
And it is bullying activity. And for Harry and Meghan to try and claim they have nothing to do with it is absolute bull. It's absolute bull. Now, in my case, I've spoken about it in detail, so I won't bore you with it now. But fundamentally, they were completely behind it. They were totally behind it. And what they wanted to do was destroy me for telling the truth. And the irony is they wanted to destroy me with lies. I've seen up close what they've done to you. And the fact is, Sam, we can say once more, if they want to distance themselves from the Sussex Squad, all they need to do is condemn the Sussex Squad behaviour. And they have never done that. So Harry and Meghan are actually behind the biggest gang of internet trolls online. But I just want to go into a little bit of, oh, sorry, Sam, you come in there.
No, and then to deflect from that and play victim and pretend to want to end misrepresentation in the media through the Aspen Institute and Archwell when they are purveyors of misinformation. So they want everybody else to be silenced, but they want to be able to say what they want to say. It doesn't work that way. And thank God President Trump is preserving our freedom of speech. He's going to end this psychotic DNC and liberal radical control over what constitutes information or misinformation. And we're going to get facts and truth out there in the world. But obviously corrupt and nasty people pay to spin narratives, and they've been getting away with it. I really hope to see this fake news, nasty PR, social media psychosis come to an end.
Well, indeed. And that's what was so significant for me about the Vanity Fair article, Sam, because what some people don't understand with this article is that, yes, they have spoken to the few defenders of Harry and Meghan. And the reason that they have included that information in the article is to show that it is properly balanced. And I actually don't mind Vanity Fair do that. I mean, the fact that they found a couple of people to say, oh, yeah, they're so nice and they're madly in love, like, who cares? Because actually what you have to do is look at the weight of evidence. And the weight of evidence is all on the other side. Dictator in high heels, says the Hollywood Reporter. I revealed all of the bullying behavior and the fact that Catherine was disgusted by the way they treated staff at Kensington Palace. So come on, there's so much of it. But I think it is worth, Sam, me actually getting some of your specific reaction.
Well, quickly, I mean, thank God a lot of these people, staff members, have come forward, because what the public didn't know, I saw the public out there saying, oh, but the family are out there speaking, and Meghan and Harry never say anything. That's because they were paying their PR to say it and to spin the narrative for them. We didn't have the benefit of paying millions of dollars for PR firms to put out our message.
And also remember, we are sometimes speaking on behalf of the Sussex Survivor Squad because they cannot speak out. They cannot speak out. Sorry, the Sussex Survivor Club. Very different to the Sussex Squad. The Sussex Survivor Club are all of the former staff members, Sam, who were treated appallingly on both sides of the Atlantic, bullied to within an inch of their life, but cannot say anything because in the UK, they are subjected to the Official Secrets Act because they are working for members of the royal family. And in the US, they are subjected to NDAs, non-disclosure agreements. Why don't Harry and Meghan, if they really had nothing to hide, why don't they release their staff from the NDAs, Sam, and allow them to speak out? But first, the reason you're watching this show is because you know that these days it's almost impossible to trust the mainstream media or the so-called fact-checkers who claim to patrol social media. And I mean, that's for a very good reason, given what we've seen today with the Southport massacre, or Brexit, or COVID, or the demonization of Donald Trump. So I have the solution. Today's sponsor, Ground News, created by a former NASA engineer to provide you with the only safe way to consume the headlines. Go to ground.news/outspoken to check it out for yourself. But I want to actually show you, the best thing to do here is show you this incredible website and app in action. So what we're going to do is take the recent story of Elon Musk's fallout with Nigel Farage over Tommy Robinson, which the left-wing legacy media tried to whip up to destroy all three men. And you can see very clearly on Ground News, which collates the 230 sources all in one place. And it instantly shows how the story is being covered by the media, broken down whether those media organizations lean left or right, illustrated by this bias distribution service. And then if you scroll down, you can see every article about the topic broken down by the political position and ownership of the publication. So in this case, you can see quite clearly that Fox News gave a fair analysis compared to Mediarite and The Independent, which most certainly did not, lambasting the men as morons with big egos, actually looking into why, without actually looking into why, why the split happened, how it could be resolved. But what's more is Ground News actually gets to know you personally, providing you with the news stories you're interested in while also analysing your own biases and coming up with potential blind spots you may not have heard about. And I know if you're like me, you love the news, but you don't trust the legacy media. So Ground News gives you the tools to understand the truth about what is going on in the world. I can tell you it is the only way. I read the news now. I have the app on my phone and it allows me to see through media bias and manipulative narratives. No more relying on MSM bias to define the truth for you. So go to ground.news/outspoken to check it out. You can subscribe through my link for 40% off the Vantage plan, which is what I use for unlimited access. Thank you, Ground News. And remember, Ground News is subscriber funded and supporting it also supports my work too. So for less than a Netflix subscription, you can get all the world's news in one place and think for yourself. It's been a game changer for a news junkie like me. So that is ground.news/outspoken. But now back to the show.
Exactly. Yeah, and I mean, I think the motive was for those of us who weren't intimidated, who were out there speaking when they found that the media had located us all and had gotten to us. It's like, let's throw dirt on them, let's discredit them so they can't speak. The goal was to silence everyone. And when that didn't work because we were speaking, then it became a PR smear campaign. So in my opinion, their goal is to silence people one way or another, whether it's through NDAs, whether it's through PR, whether it's through online bullying, and they are purveyors of that. But what's really weird is that they want their privacy and they're saying that they're hurt. Yet they're out there putting out books like Spare, giving away the layout of royal residences and Courtney Cox private information and, disparaging everybody and taking license to do that.
Well, it's like Piers Morgan said. And by the way, Sam, I'm completely against all the illegal activity that went on years ago, decades and decades ago. I mean, I'm very much on the record, and I would have said to Prince Harry in court next week, I would have said to him, all of my stories were completely legally obtained, completely legitimate. I've never used a private investigator. I've never used a blagger. I've never hacked a phone. So don't even go there with me, mate. But as Piers Morgan pointed out, when are you going to apologize to your family members? Because the information that Harry released in Spare and that Meghan and Harry put out through the Netflix documentary and all of their leaks via paid PR, as you rightly point out, Sam, were far worse than anything that the British tabloids ever published through phone hacking. So it's not that I approve of phone hacking, but what I'm saying is they have spilled the most terrible secrets. But anyway, I wanted to just read you a couple of the key parts of the Vanity Fair article and get your reaction, Sam. So two sources, this is according to Vanity Fair, say a colleague with ties to archetypes took a leave of absence after working on 3 episodes, then left Gimlet altogether. Several others described taking extended breaks from work to escape scrutiny, exiting their job, or undergoing long-term therapy after working with Meghan. The person who interacted professionally with her says, I think if Meghan acknowledged her own shortcomings or personal contributions to situations rather than staying trapped in a victim narrative, her perception might be better. And I think that is a really good point. But why does your sister, I mean, obviously, you have some idea about her state of mind. Why does she find it so hard to ever admit that she is wrong?
Reportedly, and I will say, in my opinion, this is all typical for people who are allegedly narcissistic. And I think it started way back. I mean, let's go back. Let's go back to the Jam Yankees play, and this is Lady C talked about it. Everybody knows about it, but she was doing a play, and the comply or quote die philosophy, I think, came out then. And I think then she realized that she could intimidate and bully people into doing things her way or face isolation. So long story short, my dad had built the stages, done the lighting, built everything for that production. And because she wasn't getting along with the woman who was running things, who I will not name, but people can look it up. she asked my dad to quit the production, and he's a consummate professional. He said, I can't just do that. And she said, then you and I had nothing to say. So I watched this video come out on like Access Hollywood or ET or something. And she's driving around being, a cool young woman in her car. And she points up to Hollywood Hills and she goes, oh, look, yeah, my dad lives up there, but we're not going up there because we're not getting along right now. But no, and so the PR spin was, oh, see, there was some valid reason she and her dad didn't get along then. They were estranged then. No, what she didn't tell everybody was she was isolating him. She gave him the axe because he wouldn't comply with her,
Wow,
because he
fascinating.
wouldn't just quit the production. So I think she learned, in my opinion, at an early age that there were bullying, controlling ways to get what she wanted. And for some people, for people who cared about her or who had something to lose, family members, staff members, um, some people complied.
Gosh, such
Thank
fascinating
God.
insight, Sam. Such
Yeah.
fascinating insight. I also just wanted to also just bring up, I think, look, I know it's true, but it's still shocking for Vanity Fair to publish this. And it's in regards to Meghan's post-divorce plan. They write, a few years ago, a rumor began circulating around the
Wow.
book world about another prospective project for Meghan. This story, which a person with knowledge confirms the broad details of, was that Meghan's team had a conversation with a publishing house to gauge interest in an idea for a potential book. The concept, for which there was no written or formal proposal, was post-divorce, not a general book on life after marital dissolution or one about Meghan's past experience. This book, this notion of a book, might center on a post-Harry divorce. Now, Sam, we know she's been planning for this for some time, but come on, it's still an extraordinary revelation. How can Harry read that and stay with your sister knowing that she's planning for life after divorce from him already? And God knows what
In my
information she's procuring.
in my opinion, this feels like make the divorce settlement good, or I'm going to come out with a really juicy book. It
Yeah.
seems like it's a leveraged strategy, in my opinion, and Harry might be shaking in his boots. I don't know, but um, how low can you go?
Well, exactly.
I think it's awful, and especially since she's been predicating herself on wanting privacy, but again, it's a bullying tactic, in my opinion. It's a threat. Do things my way, make the divorce settlement really good, in my opinion, or I'm gonna I'm gonna let loose a book the likes of which the world has not seen about you.
And she made that threat with the royal family, didn't she, in the
Yeah,
Cut
yeah.
article, where it was presented that she is subjected to no gagging orders, that she feels she can say whatever she wants, and she's got all of her diaries and she's got her video diaries. So we know what she's gearing up to do. But I mean, it's really, really odd. And I just needed to ask Sam, while I've got you finally, of course, your dad made the revelation quite recently that he's potentially considering leaving the US, quitting the US. I presume, but I always have to check, that he has still heard absolutely nothing from his other daughter, Meghan.
No, no.
And how's he doing
And
health-wise?
and again, I know, probably because she's so heartbroken that she can't find the strength to pick up the phone and call him. Um, she's so devastated from the LA fires that she can't make phone calls. I don't know what it is, but I mean, in my opinion, calling him would acquiesce to how wrong she was and how horrible she was, and so maybe that's something she can't face, because PR would have a field day with that on both sides of the fence.
And
So she's trapped in between a rock and a hard place, I think. And it's amazing that she seems to be unable to realize, as she plays victim about all of this and public responses to her behaviors. I'm so hurt. I'm so crushed. Well, don't you see that this is all you're doing? And you're doing it again, threatening a big book. about the man that you claim to love and that you just married. Like, no wonder celebrities and CEOs and people are like, no, this is taboo, not touching this, because they know that, in my opinion, the likelihood for betrayal and for secrets being leaked is pretty significant again and again and again. And even now, upon divorcing Harry. So when's it going to stop? It, it's a mess. I'm a disaster tourist now because I'm watching this
Watching the car
disaster.
crash. Yeah, but it couldn't happen to nicer people, Sam. And Sam, just finally, your dad's health, is he okay? Is he improving from the stroke?
He's getting stronger. He's in a good place mentally, spiritually, and happier. And I think has a pretty good overview of all of this. And, hopefully I can't speak for him, but hopefully it hurts less and less with that understanding.
Good. Well, look, Sam, I am so jealous of you in Florida at the moment, in the free state of Florida, in the freedom capital of the world. Goodness me, I wish I was there.
Oh, I was going to say the freedom capital, yes, and hopefully there will be a global contagion. President Trump is having some wonderful effects on global leaders, but we're having London weather, so don't be jealous of me about the weather. It's freezing here.
Sam, let's be honest about this. Your definition of cold weather is not a Londoner's definition of cold weather. We'd probably be out in shorts.
30s, 40s, but I know you get colder than that. So yeah, we're a little bit wimpy here.
Yes, but no, I mean, as I say, very, very envious, but also very inspired, actually, by what's happened in the United States over the last couple of weeks. So thank you so much. I always love having you on Outspoken, and we will speak very soon. Samantha Markle,
love you,
thank
Dan.
you. Mwah.
Thank you. Mwah. Cheers.
Thank you so much for watching Dan Wootton Outspoken. Please click on my face just to the bottom left to subscribe to this brand new independent news source, and turn on the notification bell so you'll be alerted to our brand new live shows, uncancelled interviews, and special royal episodes. Outspoken is also now available as a podcast, so you can listen to the show every weekday on the go, wherever you are.